Oh, English weather right now is horrendous. Well, good morning everybody and welcome to yet another Sunday. These Sundays just seem to fly by, don't they? As I said, pretty bad day here in the UK. It does look like it's going to clear up, just looking out here on the golf course as we speak. Little update from you when it comes to locker room golf.
So amazing news, we've just hit 750 people on our subscription on locker room golf.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. Locker room golf is definitely going to head from strength to strength, but we need your help from it as well because we need your kind of input into the website. We want to get your reviews of the destinations that you've been, whether it's your home golf club, whether it's golf courses that you've been and played away. I just want to hear your experience. You know, it only has to be a few hundred words, but it doesn't have to be much, to be honest with you. We can take it from there and we'll put it onto the website, start making a few lists of different destinations, different countries, and then we can get that out on the newsletter as well. So everybody's getting a bit of an insight into golf courses or places that they've been to. And if we can continue to grow that, the actual website will grow as well. It's getting ready day for me. I'm getting myself prepped because I'm going to be heading out to Portugal. So I thought in today's video, I could give you a little bit of an update as to how and what I prepare for when I'm heading out for a little trip. Now this trip in particular is a Pro-Am. I've got 4 days Pro-Am with Graham Ruth, who's running it. I've got three friends coming out with me. My brother's coming out. James Ruth is going to be out there. A few other people that you may have seen in the past on the channel. They're going to be out there, which is great. And then following on from that, I'm heading to the Lisbon area. So the Pro-Am is in Villamor area, or Lagos, I think is where it's actually at. Or Lagos? Lagos or Lagos? No idea. And then heading up to the Lisbon area for the coaching trip, which I know a number of you who are watching this video are going to be on that coaching trip for yourselves. So hopefully we're going to have some great weather. Hopefully we're going to shoot some good scores in the Pro-Am, and then we're going to enjoy a little glass of wine together on certainly the second week for the coaching trip. Anyway, today I thought we'd go into the studio, have a little chit chat about how I'm preparing when I'm always prepping for, let's say, an event. I've been messing about with clubs this year, and I only think it's right to have a little chit chat about some of the equipment that I've put in the bag. I've also had a little bit of a telling off, which I'll tell you about as well. With that in mind, let's head to the studio and start looking at some numbers when it comes to the clubs that are in my bag. Well, jumping in between all my irons at the moment, just kind of trying to get some numbers, but one of the things that I'm focusing on, I've got to my 6-iron now, working out my wedges into my irons. I'm not necessarily looking at this moment in time yardage, we will look at that in just a minute, but all I'm looking for is I want to see if I can get a gapping of around 5 mile an hour ball speed between each iron. That's kind of like the optimal of what we're trying to do. It doesn't matter where you start, but ultimately if you can get 5 mile an hour increases as you go up through your irons, this is where you're going to start to see some gap changing, and we'll look at it as we kind of work up into the longer stuff in just a minute, because normally what would happen is between my 5-iron and 4-iron, that gap might drop to 3 mile an hour or even 2 mile an hour in cases, and that's where you would look at maybe more of a game improvement iron coming out of what you've kind of maybe already got, or even kind of going into maybe hybrids. But 6-iron then, so went from 114.4, so nearly 115, there's one in there at 115, up to now 119, so there is a bit of an increase there from what we're seeing. It's not a lot, is it? It's 5 mile an hour. Is it 5? Yeah, okay. So starting with 9-iron, 103 mile an hour off the face, ball speed. 8-iron, 108 mile an hour off the face, so 5 mile an hour more. Then we jump up fractionally by an extra 1 mile an hour because I've got 114 in the 7-iron. And then we go 5 mile an hour again in the 6 iron because I'm up at now 119. So you can see those 5 mile an hour gaps. Let's just see what happens with 5 iron and then into the sort of longer iron in the bag. Up by 5 mile an hour, I've gone from 119 in the 6 iron to now 124 in the 5 iron, albeit I did take 1 out in the 5 iron. You have to do this, you have to kind of, because ultimately you got to know what your misses are going to be, and I know if a miss hit with a 5 iron or whatever iron in my bag, I'm going to see a big drop off. But now that I've seen the increase of 5 mile an hour, it gives me massive confidence, really. It was 4 mile an hour with that 1 miss hit. So with 1 extra shot, it's brought it back up to that sort of 5 mile an hour, which is good. Now we're moving into something really different, which is a 3 iron head in a 4 iron shaft. Big game improvement jobby, this one, but I've done quite well on the golf course with it. Let's see what it gets. I'd expect it's going to get a little bit more than 5 mile an hour, but let's see. 6 mile an hour. Just 5.7 mile an hour, that one. It's gone about 15 yards further, which is quite nice. I used to gap in the 4 iron, used to just get a bit too close to the 5 iron. That's a good shot. It's gone a little bit further. Yeah, that's gone from 124 up to 130. So I'm 6 mile an hour quicker with this one. But I feel like, I know that's gone 205, that last shot, which was a great hit, little bit tuggy down the left side, 5 yards left of target. So it's gone 205 yards kind of in the air. But what I love about this club is I can just feel like I can open it up a fraction, play the shot that I'm kind of looking for, and bring it back down. What's that one there gone now? 188. So I'm looking for a number of around 195. So maybe I've just taken a fraction too much off, but it's only I've given myself an extra 3 mile an hour in ball speed with that. That's going to more likely hit target 196 with 130 mile an hour ball speed. It's about finding a club, I think, that you can take a bit off rather than me trying to batter a 4 iron to get it beyond that. Now that I've kind of gone for this absolute bodge makeup kind of club, which is, like I said, it's a 4 iron shaft in a 3 iron head, but because it's a chunky monkey, this one, which is a U505 by Titleist, it's got loads of help, gets it up in the air, but when you look down at it, it doesn't look that offset, so it gives me the confidence I can pop it up in the air. And if I want to hit a low driller, well, I've got a 5 iron that can probably do that. So the interesting jump around, should we say, is more in my wedges, because I go 60, 56, 50, and then 46 before I come into my set. Yardage wise, 86 yards with my 60, 102 yards with my 56, 110 yards. So what am I gaining there? So I'm gaining, what, 15 yards between 60 to 56, a 10 yard gap between the 50, maybe I should be a 49 degree in that one there. And then I go to 12 yards longer again at 46 my 46 degree wedge. And then as I come out of my wedges into my irons, I get a bit of a jump, like there's an 8 mile an hour gap, which probably isn't ideal. But I do find that when I'm on the golf course, I tend to hit my wedges a fraction further. Maybe it's because I dig them out of the ground a little bit more. So I've just got to take that into consideration. So I'll never hit my 56 any more than 105 yards. I'll never hit my 60 any more than 90 yards. I can probably squeeze the 50 out to around 115. And the wedge, I can get it up to the sort of high 120s, so 125 to 128. So, which then blends nicely into the 9 iron at 137 yards, which is spot on. 148 with the 8 iron, 161 with 7 iron. Then we go to 172 with 6 iron, 185 with 5 iron, and then 202 yards with that 3 iron. So that's kind of what I'm up to when I'm kind of getting myself ready. I'm not really thinking about swing at this stage. I just want to know what my numbers are. I'll write them all down. So when I get out to Portugal, I know where I stand when I get onto the golf course. Delivery time. Yep, we have a delivery from Under Armour. I don't even know what this is, so I don't even know. I don't even know what we've got coming because I was not expecting anything. I might not be allowed to show you this. So you got to be careful this time of year. There's so many products coming out onto the market. So many different embargo products coming out onto the market. However, to Dan Hendriksen Golf, I'm not sure. This looks like Harry's. This could be Harry's. Extra large, large, 34, 34. I think we all know I'm not a 34 leg. So yeah, I think these are actually Harry's. Harold?
Hello.
Have you ordered up some, are you waiting on a box of Under Armour stuff?
Yes,
For
I
you,
am, yeah.
For you personally? 34,
Yeah.
34?
Yeah.
That's you. Okay, box has arrived here today. I will drop it in when I head in a little bit later.
Thank you.
Sorry about the box.
One, two. Gotta say, really enjoying the Stripe ball by TaylorMade. Been using the TP5X, TP5. I think the TP5 is better for me in the fact that it gives me a little bit more spin on the golf course. Which is actually a reverse, isn't it? Because it's reverse from what you think about the Pro V1 to Pro V1X. Pro V1X gives you more spin, whereas the Pro V1 is designed to give you a little bit less spin, lower launch. I think it's a reverse in these balls, well certainly from the numbers that I've got anyway. Now the clubs coming with me are going to be the Titleist MB irons. Yes, I know that there's so many people in the comments that said, oh Dan, you're going to run back to your Titleist MBs, and you're right, I have run back to my Titleist MBs. I was just getting, I haven't finished with those Mizunos because I absolutely love them. They look absolutely stunning down by the ball. But I'm just missing everything a little bit left with them. My start line is always too far left. And if you watch the fitting, we talked about this in the fitting about how I wanted to have something that was maybe a fraction more upright than what I'm getting out of these Titleists. But as I've kind of taken them on the golf course, as I've kind of played with them, which is pretty much all year I've played with those Mizunos now, I just find myself missing a lot of shots to the left-hand side, and then I'm fighting it on the golf course, which is not ideal. It's actually, that's interesting because that moves us into the putter. The putter that I'm just having a little play around with is my old Scotty Cameron. That is basically the exact same as the black one, but it's just, well, it's silver. I just didn't get it blackened out like the newer version. And you got to think that the ping that I've been using is a face balanced putter, and I'm tending to pull everything a little bit left with it. And then what happens is on the golf course, you fight it. So with the Mizunos, I've kind of put them to one side. I am due to go to see Mizuno in the next probably month or so. So I'm going to go up there and get them just to flatten them out, and then I can probably, hopefully, bring them back into the bag. Mizuno wedges 60, 56, 50, and 46 degrees. And then obviously I've got that U505 3 iron, which as you saw from the numbers, actually sits in really quite nicely into the bag. Now under the hood of this is probably something that you guys are interested to know a little bit about, which is the Titleist GT3. Fitted for this a little while ago, 9-degree head. I was just struggling back in the day. I was struggling a little bit with strike, and with the change of this swing kind of movement, I feel like I've got a strike back with it, and I got to say that when you strike this club out of the middle, it does feel absolutely fantastic. It's in neutral setting, so everything's neutral when it comes to the head. I've got it in, Paul gave me the shaft to have a little play around with, and it just is gone really, really well. It's a Diamana, it's a ZF, or ZF as they like to call it. It's a 60 gram, and it's a Tour X flex, so it's quite rigid down by the bottom, which is something that I kind of feel like I like now. It just seems to work really, really well. I don't know why. I've just got a feel for it, and as soon as I got that feel for it, well then it's got to stay in the bag for a little while. I just feel like I can hit this as hard as I like, and it stays really, really neutral. And the telling off came from a subscriber who I've got to know really, really well now from the trips that we've been on. However, I won't mention names, but he mentioned in my Villamora matchup that I did out there for the old course that I've played around with so much different equipment throughout 2025, and he's absolutely right. I have tinkered an awful lot. And you know what? When you're in a program with someone like Titleist, and you get to, well, you basically stick with what they've kind of got for you. They fit you out, and then you stick with that bag. And I think people have really enjoyed that. I don't feel like people have really enjoyed the tinker Dan of playing around with different equipment. The Oximity driver, loved it, but they were sponsoring a series that we've done. And we're going to look at doing a little bit more in 2026 as well, because they're coming out with a new driver. Well, I wanted something that had a little bit less spin, get me out there just a little bit further. Even though I was hitting lots of fairways, I wanted to be able to find something that could get me out there with a little bit more oomph in it. Plenty of ball speed, just too much spin. So I do take on board what you're saying about the tech side of things and all the equipment that I've been playing around with, but it is good to test because I want to give you the feedback on it. But it's interesting how I always run back to my older stuff. Now, GT2 3-wood, I've tried to mess about with mini drivers, but I'm just struggling to get them in the air. I just struggle. This thing here, even though it's a little bit smaller in its profile compared to a mini driver, but bigger in its profile from previous 3-woods that I've had, 13.5 degrees with the Tensai 1K black in it, nothing beats it. It performs really well, it's easy to launch up in the air, it spins really, really well. When I look up, it's floating pretty straight, which I love. And you can see coming from the wear marks that I've got it pretty much coming out the middle every time, which again is really, really easy to be able to manage once you get out of the middle of the club all the time. So that's what's firing around in my bag. And then finally, which as you would expect, under the English flagged head cover, the RBZ. It needs no introduction. If you've been watching this channel for as long as I know most of you have, you'll know that the RBZ is a club which is not coming out the bag. Probably don't need to talk about it in really that much detail because you've all heard about it before, but it is the weapon. I have actually been recently looking on secondhand sites for a replacement head because I'm so nervous that one day it's going to hear it go pop and it's going to crack because ultimately it's quite old now, it's quite worn on the face there. So I could just literally take the shaft out, put it in the new head, and hopefully we'll be off and running as well. But for now, the RBZ is not going, it's not going anywhere. So there we go, that is what is going on in my golf bag right now. Hope you've enjoyed that video, just catching up, isn't it? It's always nice. Now, don't know what next week looks like when it comes to putting out a Sunday morning show. I know that I'm putting out a little get together with Bernie down at Perranporth. We did the front 9 down there. I was doing a bit of filming, so you can have a little check out of that one, a little match up, myself and Bernie. And then I'm going to be heading, like I said, over to Lisbon, of which I will try and put together a Sunday morning show from basically what I'm doing with the Pro-Am and then what I'm doing over in Lisbon. Maybe I will catch up with some of the pros and maybe we can grab some tips out of some of the pros in different areas of the game that can hopefully help with your game whilst we're on the Pro-Am, which I think will be great. And then as soon as I get back, I'm then heading back out to Arizona with Ping and Foremost. Got to go over there and do some filming for 4 days. I'll bring that one to you as well, but that will be in probably a couple of weeks' time because I've got to try and keep ahead of the game, try and play a bit of golf, try and do some coaching, not film too much, and then I've got to try and edit and upload at the same time. So hope you've enjoyed that. Don't forget to go and check out Locker Room Golf if you haven't already. For those of you that have started sending in all your articles, I love it. Thank you so much. That's what it's all about. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Please double check that you're subscribed as well, because it makes a massive difference for a channel like this one to make sure you're all subscribed. I know 30% of you aren't. So there you go, Sunday morning show done. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again. Well, I'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll catch up for the Sunday morning show next Sunday.